Hi, thank you for stopping by Jana's Kitchen. Today we're making homemade pizza, and as Erin always likes to refer to it as couch pizza. And so she always likes the corner pieces when we do it in a long metal pan. And so today I've got some active dry yeast, okay? I just got it at Aldi, just active dry yeast, not the fast rapid rise. And so I'm gonna add in 1 1/4 teaspoons of yeast, and then I've got 1/2 teaspoon of sugar. And this is water that's just like warm to your touch. It's 115 degrees. And so I'm going to combine those together in 1 cup of water, and then I'm going to let it set aside. And we'll be back after about 5 until it starts to foam up. That way you know your yeast is active. So we'll be back. Okay, I just wanted to stop back. I know it's not 10 minutes yet, but I just wanted to show you how to see that it's starting to activate, that your yeast is good. That's why you do this. You're starting to see the bubbles form here. And make sure you have extra room in your cup because it's going to bubble up even more. So anyway, I just wanted to show you the bubbles that are starting to come up as the yeast is starting to take off and do its thing. Okay, welcome back. In my mixing bowl, I have 2 1/4 cups of double lot. It's 00 double lot flour. I order mine off of Amazon, or some grocery stores carry it. I know Publix does, and I know Walmart does now because homemade pizza's taken off. And so you just want to look for that. I like to order the Italian flour because there's no glyphosates in Italy. They don't use Roundup over there. So I like to use Italian flour when I can find it. But it doesn't say organic because they don't have that issue over there. And so anyway, I just wanted you to know which one I used. And then that'll be in my Amazon storefront. And so we've got the 2 1/4 cups of flour in there. And so here is our bubbled up yeast. See how bubbly it is? Okay, so I'm going to add that to my flour. And then I have 1 tablespoon of olive oil. And I've got salt, but I'm not going to add that right now. See, look at the bubbles from the yeast. You can see it. Can you get that, Erin, before I start mixing it? See how bubbly it is? So I'm going to go ahead and start my mixer. And I'm going to get all of this mixed together. I'm going to shut off my mixer and wait 10-15 minutes for the yeast to begin to develop, because salt can destroy yeast. And so I'm not going to put the yeast in right off the bat. So I'm just going to let that yeast get to do its thing. And so I'm going to scrape down the bowl in just 1 second. I always put my arm up here and reminded me to take it down just in case it goes splat. I don't want to clean up all my flour and yeast mix from the house, but I don't think you want to look at my elbow. Sometimes she catches me using my elbow up too high. My piano teacher taught me the same thing. Keep your elbows down. And I'm not a very good student, I guess, because I keep my elbows up. Sorry, Mrs. Freeman. And you can see it's mixing in. It'll start to grab off the side here in a second. And then we're going to let it knead for a few minutes. See how I pulled that right off the side? I am going to scrape my bowl down and continue. There it goes. There. Now I'm going to scrape down the sides of my bowl, and then I'm going to continue to let it knead for a few minutes. So we'll be back. Okay, we're back. I forgot to say that I was going to cover my mixing bowl with a towel just to keep the air out so it didn't crust over. So see, I didn't do any more since you last saw this. And you can see how the dough has developed. Now I'm going to add my salt because I know that 1 teaspoon of salt added now isn't going to inhibit, and I'm just adding it really slow, isn't going to inhibit the yeast because we gave it a chance to get the yeast going. So now I'm going to mix this up and I'm going to knead it for about 5-7 minutes and let that salt get incorporated in, and we'll be back. Okay, we are back. Should be a good pizza day. It's really raining outside. And good thing we chose to maybe make the indoor pizza instead of the pizza oven outside today. Anyway, it's been about 10 minutes that we have been kneading the dough. You don't have to have it super fast. You can do it by hand if you don't have a mixer with a dough hook. And you can see that it's still quite pliable like that, but it's going to change after it rests even for an hour, but we're going to try and let this proof for several hours and come back to make our pizza. And so I've got my scraper here, and I'm going to put it into a bowl that I have wiped down with olive oil. So get that, push this back. Sorry about my arm again. There you go, Erin. And so now I'm going to take this out of my mixing bowl and into my olive oil greased bowl. Wish I could do this ambidextrously, but I can't. I think ambidextrously is a word. I know ambidextrous is. All right, so that is our pizza dough, and that's enough. This is enough for 1 pizza, okay? And so I'm going to cover it with a towel, and I'm going to let it set in a warm area. My ovens happen to have a proof feature on them. If yours doesn't, that's okay. Just put it in an area covered in a towel or plastic wrap that has no draft. Like, you don't want to set it where the air conditioner is blowing on it. And so you can just set it in your oven, but make sure that you put a note on your stove by the knobs that turn your oven on to say that there's something in the oven so that nobody turns it on to cook something and bake your dough. So we'll be back in a few hours. Okay, we are back, and abracadabra, here we go. Voila! There is homemade pizza dough. You know what? Erin always talks about how when she was little, we used to make homemade pizza with the Chef Boyardee box. And it's still one of her favorite memories of Sunday nights, normally is when we made it. And so I've got a dough scraper. By the way, I pushed this down, like punched down on this dough like 4 times. Like when it would get domed up over the bowl, I'd come in and punch it down, and it would raise back up again, and I'd punch it down. And once it stopped rising so much, that's when I knew it was ready, okay? And you can do this the day before too and refrigerate it. Once it's all punched down and ready to go, you can go ahead and put it in the refrigerator. It'll raise up a little bit even in the refrigerator, but that's okay. Punch it back down and go. So we've got a cookie sheet. If you wanted to divide this up and to do it in 2 pizza pans, you do it that way. But this is Erin's memory of what she wanted of doing homemade pizza today. So we're going to do it the way she remembers it. There you go, Erin. All right. So you can either do one of 2 things: flour your hands. No, just the, just the bowl. You can do flour on your hands. I've got some of that left over. Or some oil. And then you just press it out however thick your family wants it. Okay? Just like this. You can pull, you can stretch, however you want. I've got my oven set to 400. You can set it higher if you choose. You can also set it at 350 if you choose, or 375. I wouldn't do it lower than that. And one of the things I was going to suggest, I'm going to surprise my husband. I had some mozzarella sticks. I'm going to surprise him with stuffed crust. And you can go as far as you want with these or not at all. See, then you stretch it back out again. This is however you want, whatever you want on it. If you just want to sprinkle some olive oil all over the crust now and do like a margarita pizza with thin sliced tomatoes, this is your pizza. You make it just like you're calling it in, or be creative. I'm going to do another mozzarella stick there and over here. Just because I know my husband's going to be so surprised. He took the trash out so he didn't hear me say that. We'll surprise him. Okay, there. And so if you like, Erin calls it, say it, Erin. Couch pizza. That's what she calls it because she likes those thick crust on the edges. My husband would call it Detroit style. Okay, there. Now you come in with your sauce. I've got my spoon here. And some people put their cheese down first and then their sauce. Once again, do it the way you want to do it. I'm personally not a heavy sauce person. My husband is, however. You don't have to worry about any little imperfections because guess what? That crust is going to grow beautifully. There we go. The dogs are getting a drink. Okay, so I've got, as you can see, lots of different things going on over here. I cooked some hamburger. I've got pepperoni. I have chopped up Canadian bacon. We par cook our vegetables, and that's kind of how we've always done it. I've got sweet onion, Vidalia. I've got mushrooms. And I have some sliced jalapenos, my favorite. And then I leave the hamburger in like chunks because I kind of grew up having it like that. And then the other thing I like to do is I've got some grated Parmesan cheese. And I go through and put it on the bottom here. There we go. Little chunks, no problem. My husband wouldn't mind getting a chunk of that cheese. There we go. And so then you put your hamburger on or whatever you like, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and build this pizza and we'll be back. Okay, we're back. I've got what I want on my pizza here. Erin reminded me that we normally put black olives on. I'm like, oh shoot, that's right. And not like we're not going to have enough on our pizza, right? Look at this. And some fresh jalapeno. I don't pre-cook those for my pizza, but you do you. And if somebody doesn't like them, they can always take them off, right? And I do not put the seeds on. Okay, and then I've got some Italian herbs. You do not have to do this. Like I said, this is be creative. You do you. Whatever your family likes. Okay? Then I'm going to spritz just a little bit more Parmesan on the top. And I think I'm going to go for just a touch more cheese. Because remember, that's all mozzarella stick. But he doesn't know that. Okay, I'm going to pop this in the oven and we'll be back. We are back. Guess what time it is? It is pizza time. And there is our pizza. Remember, yours is going to look different. It's going to look however you create it to be. But we like our cheese a little bit browner and the things that we put on it. And it's just so delicious. I just thank you for stopping by Jana's Kitchen, and I hope you try this recipe real soon.